Nilqakom għal programm ieħor Ispirazzjoni u Esperimenti u l-mistieden tal-lum huwa Dursa Mama. Dan ġej mill-NGO Spark 15 huwa l-co-fundatur kif ukoll il-President. Thank you for joining us, Dursa. I will be translating in Maltese for our listeners. First of all, Spark 15 started back in 2015 when UNHCR Malta organized a seminar as part of the Global Youth Consultations. So during this seminar, young group of refugees came together. They were already friends probably. You must have been one of them. What does Spark 15 do?
Good morning, everyone, and I would like to Happy New Year to everyone and wish all the best for everyone. And as an organization, yes, Spark is created by a youth refugee back in 2015. It is when, as you say it, when UNHCR organized this seminar in Gozo. Coming that the issue is there already because we are part of the attendant and student of MCAS, and there is a really dynamic of energy come from the young people, and at that time we have one of our friend Huri and Muhammad, and there is many other people who was there, and this idea come together saying why we don't be our own a self-lead organization, and therefore we get supported, of course, and we get guided by many other expertise, and such as UNHCR and other NGOs as well. So that's how it came together and ran formally up to 2017, and then we become officially an NGO in 2017 when we get invited by Her Excellency
Louis
Breca, and she supported us well, and we settled in everything, and they were started functioning as a fully NGOs. Before that, we just coming together and meeting and checking on each other and supporting each other in many different ways. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Because together you can form more strength.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to translate. Spark 15 kienu ġew flimkien kif semmejna fl-2015. Kienu parti minn seminar li kienet jiġi organizzat mill-UNHCR Malta, u dawn kienu diġà ħbieb l-MCAS. Allura raw il-ħtieġa u l-bżonn li jinaqdu flimkien u jgħinu lil xulxin. Eventwalment mal-2017 anke bl-għajnuna tal-eċċellenza tagħha Marie Louise Colero Preca inaqdu saru formali bħala NGO, u dawn iż-żgħażagħ refuġjati jgħinu l-xulxin. There's a lot of strength when you are not carrying all the burden on your own, and you're young people. So young people, we need to take care of them. The society needs to find the value in the youths. And I want to for us to talk about how important it is to protect refugees and asylum seekers.
I think protecting, that I get to the point, is like protecting refugees, protecting the environment we have, which means we're not really like looking into where we just someone get to feed us. It's just about someone guiding us, someone investing in, whether it's a time, whether it's a resource, and whether it's a patient, that will help these young people to be able to be part of the society. There where we're looking into the considering when they can contribute as well. If there is kind of some sort of guide better and also way of leading them to how they can be part of the society. Yes, of course, maybe the migrant communities as well, the refugee community, they have to put effort, but it's very difficult in the beginning, and you are in a new culture, in country, language, and it is really hard. People say, okay, maybe you are too lazy, but I don't think so. If it's too lazy, we couldn't make it here.
Yes, of course. You traveled
all the way. It's just because it's
Mm.
just kind of find a way where you feel safe, where you feel protected. Therefore, having that energy which you already put in effort to cross all the way up, and then if you just way of it will be hard, I understand as well, but that way of bringing forward them, and for example having time to talk to them and that will allow them to express themselves with all language. It's unfortunate not everyone is speaking English. Myself, I don't speak English at that time, and I had to learn to determine myself to keep pushing, fighting, and so
Yes.
that's because the more you put effort, the more you get actually support as well.
Exactly.
So I believe in that.
And language is very important because we can communicate
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
But until we start communicating and making each other feel safe enough to approach each other,
Yeah, yeah.
I think that is very important. So I'm just going to go through that. Pala żgħażagħ refuġjati, Dursa li qed isemmi huwa li huma ma jixtiequx mhumiex li wieħed jitmagħhom imma li jgħinhom biex huma jiżviluppaw bħal żgħażagħ kollha. Huma hija xi ħaġa diffiċli meta żagħżugħ għamel vjaġġ bħal dak biex jissib post sikur fejn jista' jeżisti u jgħix. Allura aħna bħalma nieħdu ħsieb iż-żgħażagħ kollha huwa importanti li aħna nagħtuhom lok ta' fejn jimirħu huma mhumiex ħażenin, dawn ġew f'pajjiż li ma jafux, lingwa li ma jafux u li din jitalmu ħalli huma jiżviluppaw lilhom infushom ikunu ta' benefiċċju għas-soċjetà ta' madwarhom, jistgħu jieħdu is-soċjetà tieħu minnhom ukoll mhux huma biss. I think it's very important that we see each other as assets, what we can offer each other. Not everyone is there to take, but we also can give. And young people and young refugees can give a lot because the perspectives that they bring from their own culture is another way of doing things. And that's a richness in itself, I think.
That's a big richness, to be honest. I mean, it's a way of. I don't see life only taking.
Of
way
course.
of there is a lot of assumption. Of course, there is a lot of difficulties in trying to understand, but life is kind of way of giving, taking.
Exactly.
And I hosted by Maltese community government. I feel protected. I feel home. A way of I'm still trying to integrate way of life and culture and everything, but it's still I feel home and I feel some sort of integrated. But also I feel like I'm contributing to the society, way of whether it's through work, whether it's through my knowledge I've getting experience, whether helping other people, actually taking, because I feel like if we invest more in young people and especially refugee NGOs that we have, we actually taking shoulder of others people as well. Like if these people really guided and invested so much in, we want to help the refugee itself, because I've been there, I know what it look like, and I know the language. And I mean, I'm not particularly talking about Muslims as organization, because we have who speak different language. That way, when people come to us, they feel protected, they feel safe. Talking
Being
to us,
heard.
talking to with their own language, like literally as you say, to be heard, and that gives them. Empower, give them a feeling safe, feeling included, feeling supported. And some people, yes, maybe need a more push, but some people, like, as soon as you show them, as soon as you give them, they take it. And we have a student who make it to university, starting from scratch.
Well done.
And
That's
it's just
amazing.
Just because I have better determined than you, or you are better than there is always,
Yes.
as a human being, that is
Yes.
because some maybe need more support, more time, and more patience. Some people, they're good,
They
but,
flourish faster.
Yeah. So
But that's personalities as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
and their whatever stories they have brought with them. So it depends.
yeah, there
Yes,
is also a lot of traumas,
of course.
a lot of difficulties, and they've gone through that, and to recover that, they need a really maybe long time. And
Yes.
a way of, it's not an excuse. Imagine
No.
losing your partner on the way, and losing your kid on the way, and then losing
Yes.
your friend on the way. That is a lot. It take a lot of to recover.
Of course.
And
Of course.
let alone coming to where you don't speak language, you don't see anyone that you know. So we have to consider that, and also using that difficulties way of making opportunity.
Exactly, and it's how we see things,
Yeah,
because that experience, very bad and very harrowing and very sad, but has given you a strength that you can offer to someone who's going through their own loss, because you understand the language of loss. And that is an asset which we need to understand and appreciate and build each other. I like that you come together and build each other, build a safety net, build a community, and I think we need to integrate that more and understand how beneficial that building of each other is as a model. I'll just say the similarities pala NGO huma jisibu li jgħinu lil xulxin, speċjalment meta għandek daw il-lingwi kollha differenti li l-membri tal-NGO jafu, ovvjament apparti l-Ingliż, li bl-Ingliż jikkomunikaw magħna, imma bil-lingwi kollha jistgħu jifmu daw il-refuġjati li ġodda li jkunu għadhom kemm waslu u trawmiet kollha li jkunu għaddew minnhom. Dursa semma wkoll pereżempju jekk titlef il-uliedek, jekk titlef il-ħabib, kemm hija xi ħaġa diffiċli, ma bħalma konna qed ngħidu dawn it-traċedji inti xorta tista' toħroġ is-sabiħ fihom għax huma jsaħħuk u tista' tifhem il-ħaddieħor. Il-fatt li jgħinu lil xulxin hija mod kif jagħmlu komunità flimkien li tgħin il xulxin, u aħna naħseb xi ħaġa sabiħa li nintegraw f'din is-saħħa li jagħtu l-xulxin. As co-founder and president of Spark 15, Dursa, you lead with advocacy and integration work. How important it is to inspire all the younger generations to reach that goal. Maybe you could explain your role as such in this NGO.
Well, as I said,
your work
as the group as format already, and then when we become NGOs, and we have a different role. I was a vice president until 2019. Then when things really a lot of change inside, then I come to the chairperson to lead the organization, and then as soon as we jumped to 2020, then COVID hit, and it really switched everything off, and because our activities changed, and because we ran a lot of physical activities, outdoor activities, etc., and it's just as an organization we focus on integration, education, also the advocacy way of attending the conference, and if we necessary maybe being part of the organizing protest or front line where it needed and when it needed.
Exactly.
And really, the team is family. That's the organization. In our organization, is the team we have. It is like family. I look on them. They look on me. There is a time where actually come together as a families and invest. And the Mr. Paul Gallia, has been there since the beginning, and he's back of the bone, and at the team there is people who step back, and there is people still functioning. So this all as a family way of building ourselves and also helping others, and the advocacy way of is just I'm trying to be voice for others way of, and I didn't have back in time, but again I'm not really going to express the negative and the way of fighting. And it's not for me. It's not. I like giving my experience through my life. Also, the more we focus on the positive, and the more we focus on unity, and the more we focus on coming together, sharing what I'm good, what you good, bring to the table, and way of building something resilient out of that. And integration, I find it value, and I kinda see it, even though the culture is different from, even, you know, the way the lifestyle is different. I mean, the way we talk, the way we eat, the way we wear. It's actually, I find it very beautiful if we have enough patience to, you know, come together, you know, throughout, when we do, for example, cooking different food together, or maybe bringing food, coming together when we have getting together, and you know, just actually meeting up with different people, get to know them, and you can't really have enough time to listen them, because everyone are really great stories.
Of course.
And something to share with you.
Of course.
So I find it, like, that's a big value we have, where this different culture bring us together, sharing, then actually build something out of it.
Yes.
And use it, that value what we build it, to help each other.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of beauty in differences.
Yeah.
Because we don't do this thing, I don't know, let's say we cook chicken differently.
Yeah.
But that means we have a variety of recipes.
Yeah.
That's better, because you don't get bored. I mean, I'm trying to use a very silly example, but that applies to everything.
Everything, yes, definitely.
Everything.
Whether at workplace, whether at home, whether as a neighbor, like, I used to work with the huge company. It's really, which I don't want to mention, but I find it very, you know, big value, because we have more than 40% is foreign, and everyone have support each other. Everyone come together, and if there is something that we look up to the CEO is a very generous person.
How
and
wonderful.
you know, it's way of, he's Maltese, and I really like the environment. I feel welcomed, and I feel part of the team. And you know, I think we have to build in every industry that not take it as abuse, or not take it as advantage, not take it as a okay, you are less, or because you are different culture. You know, it's like everyone have something great to put forward.
Exactly. And I think resilience comes from the fact that we appreciate the differences. Because if we had to do everything the same, what if something happens and we only know how to do it one way? We cannot survive like that. We need to have this creativity boiling together and coming up with different solutions. I'll translate all of this somehow. I'm not a good translator. Li tkellimna bħalissa Dursa beda jsemmi kemm importanti li aħna napprezzaw id-differenzi ta' xulxin. U per eżempju jaħdem f'kumpanija li hemm ħafna percentaġġ kbir ta' barranin u kulħadd jiġi apprezzat għad-differenzi li jġibu kollha fuq il-mejda, li mhux kulħadd jaħsibha li stess, u kemm importanti, pereżempju qed semma CEO tiegħu li hu japprezza dawn id-differenzi u jagħmel il kulħadd milquh jħoss kulħadd jħossu milquh, allura dak li jkun jista' joffri l-istejjer differenti tagħhom, is-soluzzjonijiet forsi tal-istess ħaġa differenti tagħhom u hekk iktar inkunu nistgħu nissaħħu flimkien. So it's so important, because I was referring to your CEO. It's so important that the person on top appreciates and sees the value in this difference.
Yeah.
And it's not scared of the different aspects each personality is bringing from their different cultures. That's the strength, to see value in what different things we bring to the table, like you were saying. So I'd really like our listeners to appreciate that.
Hopefully,
yes. And that brings me to the advocacy as a tool.
Yeah.
How important that we have like programs like this, where we are listening to these moments where we stop and pause and hear each other out.
I think, it's when it comes to the advocacy, people understand the way of fighting, a way of louding that people will make, like actually, and finding the nicest way of talking about the reality.
Yes.
No, let's express the reality.
Yes.
And then from there, what actually we are doing wrong. From that, because I like question.
Of course.
You know, it's like, because the more question you have, the more brainstorming of whatever you do is, you know, why is that? Why is this? Why that? You know? So therefore, finding that together, what the thing we are doing wrong, how can we make it better?
Yes.
and we don't have a lot of inclusion in many different areas. Way of that, let alone about in the parliament or whatever.
Yes.
And so, but
Yes.
actually
On the ground, we
on the
don't
ground,
have. We don't.
when then again, my point I want to jump in is sort of the policy makers and the decision makers, and not just this is maybe it's good, let's give them. No, actually include them.
Exactly.
Question them.
Yes, exactly.
They can be part of the society. Okay, they can be part of the discussion. They can be part of the decision makers way of. I don't mean giving power. No, it's just include them in a discussion way of what is the best for them.
Exactly. Yes, and they could come up surprisingly good solutions.
and it is just because maybe life it's too much stress, too much busy, too much greedy. But there is a lot of things that refugee can bring forward.
Of course, I like the slogan you had in one of your marches. There is no us and them.
Yeah.
There's only us.
Yeah.
We are human beings.
Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I really loved that. And to come from young people, it's so not refreshing. It gives you strength. You see the generations that are coming up seeing it. We need that change.
It's like I've said like this. There is no us and there is no them. We only us. Imagine I'm working in your office. I'm good. I'm like really working and hard to be part of your employees, but then something happened. You throw me on the street, and my value is gone. What I invested is gone. No, we can't see that way.
No,
we can't see, because like that's actually one of the the very turning up big, and everyone involved with, and a lot of people came to that point, and showing resilient and showing up to like we all together in this. There's no one need to be left behind.
Exactly.
So I think there is a lot of good people, there is a lot of good things, there is a lot of bad things, and we don't focus on bad things, but we have to take it,
understanding what's bad,
what is bad, add to the value we're already building, we're already moving forward. So I think we have to see it that way.
Li b'semma Dursa issa li kemm importanti li nisimgħu x'inhu ma jgħidu li aħna anke meta naslu fl-idea ta' policy making u decision making li aħna nisimgħuhom għaliex huma ħajoħorġu bil-punti tagħhom m'hemmx għalfejn jittihom il-poter, imma li tisma' il-bżonnijiet ħatiħu deċiżjoni iktar marfa. Kemm importanti li nitalmu mill-ħażin li jkun ġara u nagħmlu għall-aħjar. Hemm ħafna riżorsa tajba li m'għandix tinħela fejn jidħlu dawn iż-żgħażagħ refuġjati li hemm ħafna tajjeb fihom li ninvestu fihom aħna ħanigwadanjaw, fejn hemm ħażin u mhux jaħdem nitkellmu dwarha, nitalmu minnha u mmexxu l quddiem. Time is always running out, but I want to acknowledge also the organizations that you collaborate with. Maybe you mention a few, and how do you collaborate to help in the protection of young refugees and asylum seekers?
Thank you. That's one point. Like I want to add it the previous point. Like we have to, like as a society, we have to ask, instead of saying why they are here, and it have to like what they're good at.
Exactly.
Asking that question for ourselves, and everyone can ask that question. It will be good, because once the question in place, the answer will be brainstorming.
I would like to translate that before I forget it, because it's such a good point. Mhux ngħidu għalfejn qegħdinaw, imma x'nistgħu nagħmlu flimkien. X'nistgħu nmexxu l-qudiem flimkien għax daw għandhom ħafna x'joffru. I just wanted to make sure I don't miss that point, because it's very good. So organization.
When it comes to the organization, we really have a great friendship with every organization that based in Malta, whether direct or whether indirect. We work closely together. As a refugee organization, there is many areas we don't cover it. We focus more more in the ground of activity, of integration, and being part of the process, grassroots, and education. We focus on, we encourage more, and information, of course, but legally, and also the thing, pretty much like mental health or physical abuse or harassing. That there is other organization such as other tools, GRS, and also the obviously United Nations is there, and we work closely with them. And they used to work closely with the drop-in as well. Now we're actually being part of together.
Fantastic. It's important.
It's really important
because you cannot handle all the issues
no,
on
for
your
sure.
own.
It's like where there is actually creativity of all the NGOs coming together, even if you don't solve the problems, but coming together, what we up to and how we can move forward, what we can help each other, because we look on them, they look on us, and Blue Door, and of course there is money more.
Yes, of course.
And
and last point, if someone of the listeners wants to volunteer and help in this movement, how can they come across and help out?
I think everything is a value to the organization, whether it's your time, it's expertise, or any resource. What you offering is not helping. I don't see only because we have money we can give you, or we have a food, or we have clothes to give you. It's like asking yourself what I'm good at it, what I can give to them, and how I can bring them forward so they can
come together.
They can be actually better person. They can learn it from me, and a way of the experience you have, the time you have, and then the knowledge you have is everything basically. A way of being part of the team. Team will guide you, and team will help you to understand where and how and what activities you involve. So it depends on the field you want to be a part of.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So daw kolla li forsi joffru l-espertiz tagħhom jew il-ħin tagħhom, da m'hemmx għalfej il-flus. Flima aspett tixtieq naħseb tajjeb li anka ngħidilkom il-website spark15.org, is that it? U tistgħu issegwu x'ikunu qed jagħmlu. Thank you so much. Dursa Mama huwa wkoll co-fundatur u l-President tal-NGO Spark 15. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, and pleasure, and also wish you all the best for the new year.
Thank
you
I
hope
so
many great things will happen, and we keep pushing.
Together, the good fight.
Yeah, the good fight.
U nirringrazzja lilkom eżis semmija tal-li segwejtu Ispirazzjoni u Esperimenti. Islim.